Hello world, welcome to a new video on the BuildDev Tours channel. If it is the first time that you're here, be welcome. BuildDev Tours is a tour operator and travel agency located in Ecuador, whose goal is to promote Ecuador to the world, taking into account sustainability of the territories and their cultures. And one of our goals as well is to connect cultures, to make bridges between cultures. But well, we also provide other services like assistance with visas, as you may have seen in other videos. In this case, I will make an update about a video that I launched earlier this year, a few months ago, about the tourist visa of Ecuador, because there are some things that are not valid in that video anymore, and we're talking specifically about the tourist visa. The tourist visa is required to people from certain countries. At the moment, the tourist visa to Ecuador is being requested to citizens of 45 countries. People who are holders of a passport of this country then will require a visitor's visa to get a visitor's visa in advance prior to coming to Ecuador. Ecuador has an electronic visa, but we do not have a visa on arrival or something that you pay here. You have to get the visa prior to coming to Ecuador. And the specific steps, the specific requirements about this, I will talk about that in another video where I will show you the step-by-step on how to get this visa, how to fill out the form online and all of that, the requirements and fees. But in this video, I am talking about the rest of countries for people who do not need a visa to come to Ecuador. If you're not in this list of 45 countries, that means that you can travel. You actually are able to travel to Ecuador with only your passport. Most times you will require a return flight or a round-trip ticket. That really depends more on the airline than in an Ecuador enforcement, because you are allowed to extend your tourist stay. I mean, you can always change plans. It is always recommendable to buy a round-trip ticket or a fully refundable ticket in case you want to change plans, so you don't have like a penalty for changing your flight. But if you have doubts about this, remember you can also contact us via email or through our social media, and we'll be able to assist you with this. Okay, in my previous video about the tourist visa for people who do not need to get a visitor visa prior to coming to Ecuador, people who are able to get a ticket and fly here only with their passports, they have a limit normally of 90 days per year, 90 days within a cycle of 365 days. And in the old video, in this previous video, I mentioned that the 365 days start when you get to Ecuador for the first time, that is after 2017, but that is not valid anymore. This term of 365 days, or what we would call calendar year, which is actually a rolling year, starts when you get here, but it's not a fixed date like it used to be. Like if you came here in August 8th 2019, then every August 8th you would be entering into a new calendar year. That's not valid anymore. That date changes. How does it change? For example, you came here for the first time August 8th 2019, and you spent your almost 90 days, no problem, no penalties, fine. You came again on July 3rd 2024, you used less than 90 days, fine. Or you used more than 90 days, but you got an extension and you left Ecuador before the extension expired, fine. You were allowed to come the next year as long as you had days left, or after 365 from that date. That is, if you came here July 20th 2024, you would be able to use 90 days from July 20th 2024 to July 19th 2025, or use 90 days and get the extension prior to July 19th 2025. That gives you maximum 180 days with only your passport. The 90-day extension, you get it for a fee. Okay, let's assume you did not overstay, you did everything correctly, then could come back the next year. But what's happening or what has happened with some people. And this is the most important part, the most delicate part. People who came, for example, again, July 20th, 2024, and then they used only 30 days. But then they came back on July 1st, 2025. They are still within the 365-day cycle within this calendar year. They were allowed to enter, no problem. You still had tourist days left. Normally you would have been 60 days left because you only used 30 days during your first trip. But that's not how it works because it's within 365 days. So your cycle, your calendar year, ends on July 19th, 2025. So if you came back July 1st, 2025, having 60 days left, well, actually you only have 19 days left until your 365-day cycle ends. So in this case, this person had to leave before July 19th, 2025, or apply for another type of visa, like a residency visa. But if the intention is to be here only as a tourist, the person had to leave before the calendar year, the rolling calendar year ended. And what is the surprise to many people? That they stay, and when they are going to do another process like the temporary visa, or when they are leaving the country, they receive a fine and they are told, you overstayed your 360-day term. You couldn't do that. Now, in the past you could, but now you can't. So you have to pay a fine and you have to leave the country so that you can actually have to pay this fine and leave the country so that I can re-enter within 90 days. This is in these cases, in the specific cases of the tourist visa, overstaying the rolling calendar year. So what do you have to take into account so that this doesn't happen to you? First, your date of entrance in the country. And this is not like I said in the previous video, your first entrance as of February 2017, not anymore. Your rolling calendar year starts the date you enter every year. But as long as you have already finished the previous rolling calendar year. Again, let's see this example of a person who came as of July 20th, 2025. This person has, again, 365 days. But what if this person does not come exactly on July 20th? What if this person decides to come on August 30th, 2025? Then the rolling calendar year will change its initial date to August 30th. And until August 29th, 2026, this person will have this, within this 365-day cycle, this person will have 90 days to stay here, plus the option of extending the tourist permit for 90 more days, and so on and so on. Well, this is quite confusing. Yes, it is. But how can you help this? Well, first, you have to be aware of the dates you are traveling to Ecuador, so that when you book the travel for the next year, this doesn't happen to you. You don't have to deal like, oh my God, I'm getting a fine. Or in this case, where you come July 19th and then the next year you come July 1st, but your plan was to stay here for 30 more days, and then you realize you have to leave prior to that. So that this doesn't happen to you, you would have to come after the 365-day cycle ends. You have to be very aware of your dates, be very careful with that. But there is a tool that the Migration Authority of Ecuador put online so that you can check your dates. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. So let's not talk too much more. I hope this has been clear, but let me show you how to use this tool. Okay, we go to a browser, and in that browser, www.migracion.gov.es, www.migracion.gov.es. Enter. Once we're here, we click on this box, we check this box, soy humano, I'm a human, and we'll be allowed into the site. This is from the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ecuador, Migration Unit, and we have several services here. But what brings us today to this video, so that you avoid a fine and that you keep track of how many days you have left. And this also works for people who are here in the country and want to know how many days left they have on their tourist permit, or they have left already and want to check. Well, they can use this system. We go to the lower section here and we go to this part. There are several services, but we're talking only about año cronológico and verificar año cronológico. This rolling calendar year. If you click here, you will have information. It's a fact site, a fact page about what's the rolling calendar year. Not reading that. And verificar año cronológico, verify the rolling calendar year. This allows us to see how many days left you have. So they will ask for several relevant information here. So you have document. You cannot put this in English, maybe with a translator, but it's pretty simple. You only have to add 5 things. The passport number here, date of birth, nationality, and the date of your last entry in Ecuador or the date of your last departure from Ecuador, and the CAPTCHA code. That's it. So I'm showing you an example with US passport, someone I've worked with. Of course, we're blocking the information here. Passport number, date of birth, nationality, Estados Unidos America is United States of America in Spanish, date of last entry or CAPTCHA code, consultar, processing request, procesando petición. It takes a little bit to load, maybe like 10 to 15 seconds, and then it shows correct here. Information of the person in the lower section, confirming everything is correct. And this is what really matters to us. Normally you will see the website like this, in this format. And this section here, conteo de días calculado, is what really matters to us. So we have rolling calendar year, año cronológico, date of beginning, date of end. The date of beginning of this person is 8th of July 2025. That means that this person entered in July 8th this year. Maybe this person came February or March 2025, but that was within their past rolling calendar year. But this current rolling calendar year started July 8th, 2025. 8th of July, because we use the format day, month, year in Latin America. Date of end, 7th of July, 2026. So after the 8th, or as of the 8th of July, 2026, this person will be allowed to come back with 90 days from the very beginning again. But if the person comes September 1st, 2026, that will be the new date of beginning of a new calendar year. That really depends on when the person comes. Nationality, US, days granted, 90. This is almost automatic by system to all people who do not need a visitor visa and come here with only their passport. They're granted almost automatically, always 90 days. Days used, 37 so far. Days left, 53. So this is the way you can check for you. And if you left, or if, for example, this person would have left, it would show like this, just that this countdown would be frozen. But this person, if I check tomorrow, will show here use days 38, days left 52. That's how it works. And this way you can know when you have to get the extension, when you are allowed to come back, or when you should not come back, so that you don't have a problem with a fine. Yeah, that's basically it. If you want to get the extension, I can show you that in another video, let me know. It's a simple process, but you can also go to any of the migration offices. For example, if you are in Cuenca, that process is done at the second floor of the airport. You just go there with your passport and they will instruct you about everything you have to do. You have to pay a fee that changes every year, but for this year is about $158, so that you get 90 more days in addition to your first initial 90 days. And you have to get the extension before the 90 days of your initial permit end, between the 81st and 90th day. The earlier the better, starting as of the 81st day. When you have here use days 81, you are able to get the extension. You can do that process online. If you would like that I make a video about that, I can do it as well. But the payment is always made in person in Banco del Pacífico. At least for the moment, that's still how it is made. That would be everything. These are just additional notes. You can ask for more information on this website, but that has a fee. But this is totally for free with the information I told you. Passport number, date of birth, nationality, date of last entry or departure from Ecuador. That's it. If you have any questions, if you would like that we assist you with tours, of course, booking trips, whatever, hotels, you can let us know. Everything that we can assist you with, we will gladly assist you. So just let us know. I will make, again, for your information, there will be in this channel another video about the tourist visa, how to apply for it, what the requirements and the fees are for people who need a tourist visa prior to coming to Ecuador, who need to actually get the visitor visa. Because what I have talked about in this video is the tourist permit, which is different. You get it almost automatically just by showing your passport here at customs at the airport or when entering through a border. But there are people from 45 countries who cannot do this and need to get a visa in advance. This is an electronic visa, but even though you have to do a special process, it's not a visa on arrival. Ecuador doesn't have that, and we'll talk about that in the other video. So hope you have found this video useful. That would be everything for now, and hope that you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in Ecuador, about knowing more. And remember, you can write us, you can let us know your questions, and we will gladly assist you. Thank you very much for watching the video until this point, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.